These Rugged Ridge front stainless steel brake lines are for those of you that have a 1987 to 2006 Wrangler with 4 to 6 inches of lift that are looking to add a longer set of soft brake lines to the front of your Jeep, so when you're off-roading, especially when you have those sway bars disconnected, you don't have to worry about pulling a brake line tight. This is going to be a very easy item to install, definitely 1 out of 3 wrenches, probably about an hour or so to get them installed and to get everything bled out again, but we'll talk more about that in just a second. So like I said, if you are going to be hitting the trails, especially disconnecting those sway bars, crawling on the rocks, doing anything where you're articulating that front axle and you have 4 to 6 inches of lift, you're going to want to do something with the brake lines to ensure you're not going to pull one of those lines taut. Of course, if you break a line off-road, you can lose some braking. It will definitely end your day, and not in a good way. So there are a couple of different options for you. You can move your hard lines down a little bit. There are some relocation brackets. That's a little bit more popular with the JKs than the YJs and the TJs that we're talking about here, but there are those options. Or you can do this, and in my opinion, this is the way to go. Put a longer line on, do it right, do it the first time correctly, and you're not going to have to worry about it. It's not going to be in the back of your head every time you're articulating, oh, am I pulling a brake line tight or not? This is something you'll never have to think about again. Now, a stainless steel line is always a good way to go. It's going to be, it's going to hold up really well on the trail. This is going to be a coated stainless steel brake line, so you're not going to have to worry about it rubbing through. You're not going to have to worry about it bursting arbitrarily. It's just something that's going to hold up really well and work really well. Now, a lot of people will report that with a stainless steel brake line, you actually get a little bit of a better pedal feel. Now, it's true that a stainless steel line isn't going to expand and contract when you hit the pedal like a rubber line would. However, the expansion and the contraction that you would get or not get with the stainless line probably isn't enough to be felt through the pedal, or at least not appreciably. So what you're most likely feeling if you get a nicer pedal feel, a little bit of a stiffer pedal after you do this, is the fact that you put some fresh brake fluid in the system. You got rid of any old brake fluid that might have been boiled, that may have had some water in it, that just might not be performing at 100%. So I wouldn't look to these for a pedal feel improvement. However, you may get a little bit of an improvement just by going through the process of installing these, but I wouldn't install these because, again, they're longer. You don't have to worry about pulling them taut, and they are going to hold up really well. Now, as far as a set of stainless steel brake line goes, most of them are going to be pretty similar in price. Of course, the longer ones are going to be a little bit more expensive, the shorter ones a little bit less. This is 4 to 6 inches of lift, which is going to cover 90+% of you guys running YJs and TJs with lifts on them. So I think these are going to be just fine. They're going to be pretty appropriately priced, and they are going to come as a full kit, including everything you need to get them installed. So as far as construction, as it says right in the name, as we've touched on already, this is going to be a stainless steel brake line. It's going to be a Kevlar, Teflon coating over top of that to resist any sort of oxidation that might have occurred on that stainless steel if it otherwise wasn't coated. These are tested up to 4,000 PSI. They're going to be more than strong enough for your TJ or your YJ, and they are going to come with all of the other bits and pieces you're going to need to get these installed properly. They're going to come with new crush washers. They're also going to come with new brackets for the frame and clips to attach your brake lines into those brackets. So as I mentioned, 1 out of 3 wrenches here, probably about an hour's time. The first step is, of course, removing those factory brake lines, and then you're going to bolt these ones into place right after the fact. Now, as you have that factory brake line removed, you're also going to want to remove the frame bracket, because you're going to want to pull the hard line through the new frame bracket that comes with this kit before you go ahead and attach everything up again. And make sure that you get rid of all of those old crush washers. You don't want to be doubling up on crush washers. Make sure they're all removed before torquing everything down again. If you have a set of line wrenches, that will help with this process to make sure that you're not going to strip anything out, but a regular set of open-ended wrenches will work just fine as well. Now, even though you're only opening up the front 2 brakes when you install this kit, I always recommend that you do a full bleed, starting with the brake that is furthest from the master cylinder, working your way closest. Even though you didn't open up that system there, it can't hurt to put a little bit of fresh fluid through the system there. Get rid of any old fluid that might have been heated up in that caliper. Again, if nothing else, you're going to get a little bit of a nicer pedal feel out of going through the whole process. As you're bleeding the brakes, of course, a couple different options: putting pressure in through the master cylinder to push the fresh fluid, pulling a vacuum at each one of the 4 corners, or the tried and true method of a 2-person bleed, having one person pump up the system from the inside, the other crack the bleeder on the outside. Whatever method you choose, just make sure you get all of the air out of the system. This set of brake lines is going to come in at right around $55, which again I do think is going to be a pretty good deal for these. As you get longer, price goes up a little bit. You can get some shorter ones for a little bit less money. You can go ahead and purchase some rubber lines that are going to be less expensive than these, but as for a coated stainless steel brake line, I think these fall right in the price range that they should be. If they're appropriately priced, I think they're going to get the job done. So if you have 4 to 6 inches of lift on your TJ or your YJ, you're looking to add some longer brake lines so you don't have to worry about the factory lines getting fully taut when you're articulating off-road, I definitely recommend this set of brake lines from Rough Country, and you can find them right here at extremeterrain.com.